Like finance, religion is an aggressive use of the 8 laws of anxiety. The 8 laws of anxiety used in an aggressive stance means those that have to deal with the 8 laws in a defensive posture are at a huge disadvantage because of the political bylaws inherent in the 8 laws. It is the overt, politically correct view the aggressive stance utilizes that seem overwhelming to anyone in the defensive posture, because the two alternate stances have subsequently differing means of operation. The aspirations of the politically correct instincts of the 8 laws in the religious arena is both sides will use the 8 laws against the other side to the fullest extent of the law, as it were. This is why these two capital religions both have major threats to any that would disagree or challenge the dominance of their respective ideologies. In keeping with the politically correct hard line of the 8 laws, Christianity inflicted on the world the horror of the Catholic Inquisitions. The rationale for judgment that was exclusively derived from the 8 laws, politically correct hard line where anyone even remotely resembling a transgressor is seen as the enemy of those with the moral authority or those with the most aggressive stance. With the aggressive stance of the 8 laws as the actual motivation of religion, and with the intended victims only having the defensive stance to function with, it's no surprise that, by some accounts, up to 100 million people were put to death over 500 years, and with nil accountability. Because the 8 laws of anxiety is a direct result of the culture shock event of birth, where all people get the clear impression of anxiety imprinted on the very soul, as it's the first thing we think. The same can be said of the Muslim religion. History accounts that Islam has always had its aggressive 8 law stance proponents, and that there are vast swathes of history where these entirely politically correct 8 laws warriors destroyed all cultures they came across. By some accounts, many tens of millions in India, because again, the overwhelming majority of the human race only have a familiarity with the defensive stance. The people that are and have been Christian or a Muslim are safe from this politically correct jurisdiction, because as a member of these groups, they, according to the politics of the 8 laws, pledge to be completely subservient to the doctrines and the bylaws of these groups, which at all instants is the politically correct ideology of the 8 laws of anxiety. When viewed objectively, religion of all types falls within the boundaries set by the 8 laws, as it is purely a reflection of the 8 laws of anxiety. This is why we have words today such as atheist, blasphemy, anti-Semite, heretic, goyim, infidel, etc., etc. These are, according to the political will of the 8 laws, a means to distinguish those that are the perceived opponents of those in the aggressive stance. And if both parties are in the aggressive stance, then you can, if the manpower exists in support of at least one side, have a war to find out which of the parties deserves the moral authority the most, and to honour the 8 laws of anxiety. To this end, the 8 laws is the highest held belief of planet Earth. To fulfil the optimum politically correct outcome, it's a case of the more people that submit or get killed, the better. Those that exist in the defensive stance usually value peace and love their families, but there are many that use the family situation to have battles, as they too want to appease this deity of the world. Please do the maths.